Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
Good evening, Steelers Nation, and welcome to another episode of the Steelers Realm. I am joined by two of my co-hosts as we enjoy the nice, cool temperatures that are blazing across the United States. As you can see, I'm all bundled up because I'm a little chilled right now. Whew, it's cold outside, I tell you, cold outside. And talking about cold outside, Freight Train has joined us this evening because we want to wish JT and the boy Wonder all the luck in the world as they are embarking on baseball playoffs. But Freight Train, tell me, how cold is it in Buffalo?
It's not too bad. It's like a cool, 84 degrees. You know, there's a little breeze blowing. It's not like how it was, a couple days ago where it was, unbearable. And, of course, that my air conditioning in my house went out at the peak part of the heat wave happened. So
oh no,
I got to give mom and the kids credit for bearing through that before we got our new AC unit. But the timing was just awful.
Oh, that sucks. It's like 99 here.
Yeah. There's nothing like trying to sleep in your own sweat. You know what I mean? It's terrible.
Well, it's hard to sleep in a swimming pool, because you don't really float. You just slosh.
Especially me. I can't float. I'll sink straight to the bottom.
You're like a boat anchor.
Right. Yeah.
Well, the cool airs are definitely upon us, man. As I have traveled the U.S. this week, and on the way back, I have seen the thunderstorms and the great big raindrops hit the ground, only to make it hotter. Not sure how that worked out, but it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, it's nothing like a mist of coffee water,
Right, a mist of coffee water.
Yeah.
Well, guys, here we are. It's another week in the NFL. It's kind of a little quiet. So we were kind of thinking of some few things to do tonight. But the first thing that we wanted to do tonight is we're putting everybody on AB watch. Has anybody seen AB?
Yeah, he's in my basement.
He's in your
Somebody's
basement? Got it. Somebody's got him? Is he still in Dubai?
Yeah. Either that or he's posted up with some of his famous buddies, some of his rap friends. I don't think he's got football friends anymore because he's throwing everybody under the bus.
Well, here's a funny thing. You should mention that. It just got released today that the same dude that basically was protesting the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime show, and he managed to get on the field and unfurl some Palestine and Sudan flags in the field, is actually the same dude that Antonio Brown took some pop shots at. 41-year-old Zul Kwame Kwame to be continued.
Yeah. That guy must have some terrible luck of being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah.
Well, I'm even thinking if you're going to protest, maybe you could figure out some better people to protest against.
Right. Yeah, probably not a smart idea to protest people that have connections to things that we don't even understand, that we are not a part of.
Either that or now this guy's the smartest guy in the world because he got AB to take a couple of pot shots against him. I mean, I can see AB getting off of this, but he's going to have a little civil suit. I mean, he's probably never going to get paid, but the court's
I was going to say he doesn't have any money.
Well, that's what he says.
Yeah. Have you seen the way look at the way he drives? That guy's got money. He's got money somewhere. Look at the chains he's wearing and stuff. He's got money somewhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's just figured out how to
That dude ain't broke.
No. Not until whoever's hiding his money from him embezzles it.
Right.
But however, I think we'll discover, by the way, Robert Whitney, I just want to say this. We will find AB before we find our number 2 legit wide receiver. Anybody want to play bets on that?
Heck, he might be wide receiver too.
Maybe.
AB?
Maybe.
They want to come back. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, him and Robert Woods are the same age, aren't they? I mean,
Well,
get the two grandpas out there.
I think he's older than Robert Woods, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Robert's got less miles on the tires. He ain't got as many engine hours.
Yeah. He's got like lawnmower tires.
He got lawnmower tires. All right.
Just quicksand feet.
Well, now that we're on AB watch, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go break into the next thing. Now, here's what I want all you Steeler fans to do, okay? We are getting ready to embark on a 50th anniversary of something very, very special. And I'm going to let my co-host explain it, but I want you to mark this down on the calendar. July 1st is going to be the key date for a limited amount. And with that being said, take it away, boys. What are our fans going to win on July 1st? I'm excited.
Well, you're not going to win it. You can purchase it.
They got to buy it.
But the Steelers, 10 a.m. on July 1st, you can order your 50th anniversary limited edition terrible towel. Now, we're all Steelers fans. I mean, I can speak for myself. I probably have 20 different terrible towels. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things as a Steelers fan that you got to have. And who wouldn't, in their right mind, want the 50th anniversary of probably one of the most iconic things that a sports team has? You know what I mean? When you think of those things, the terrible towel is number one. You know what I mean? It can't be emulated. They've tried, and nobody has succeeded.
Yeah, everybody should want it. It's the best town in the world.
And let's face it, I mean, they've waited for this, so there's going to be 2 commemorative towels, but the first one is going to be the 50th anniversary. And for all of you who don't know or how it came about, there was a gentleman by the name of Myron Cope, who way back in the day had a little froggy voice, the voice of the Steelers. And in 1975, during the playoff game against the Baltimore Colts, he begged the fans to show up with their dirty yellow dish towels from a home game. And that's how it was born. Can you see that? Get all these steel workers coming in, lunch pail guys, because back in 1975, that's when they still made men. Nothing against you men today, but you guys don't know what a real man is. That's what a real man was. You know what I mean? It was
real man had a yellow towel with him in his lunch bag.
Exactly. He used to wipe his nose, his ass, smack you in the nuts with it. I mean, he'd even choke you out with it if he had to.
Right.
He would sit you down and have a beer with you and tell you why he did all that to you. And if you do it again, he's going to do it twice as hard.
Right. Yeah. But now there's only going to be 5,000 of these towels. So you're probably going to have to break out the checkbook for this special edition terrible towel. There only being 5,000. But
well, you might not have to break it out in the beginning, but if you don't, one of the lucky ones to get it, I can tell you on eBay or Facebook, yeah, you're going to pay for it dearly. You're going to pay for it dearly.
Yeah.
Now, they're also coming up with one against the Minnesota Vikings as well, another commemorative towel. There's a lot of commemorative things happening because, yes, Steelers fans, we are getting that old to where now we are celebrating all of this stuff that finally happened in the 70s. So we definitely need to be on board. And to be honest with you, I'm really looking forward to the throwback jersey. Is it going to be yellow against yellow? Rodgers returning in Green Bay. Oh, no, Green Bay's coming to us, right? Yeah, Green Bay's coming in for sure. Yeah.
So they'll be in white, right?
Yeah, they should be in white. We'd be in yellow. I'm kind of looking forward to that. It's probably going to look a lot like producer's hat and the T-shirt that's all wrinkled up. I'm sure this is going to be starched. They won't look as bad as our
Right.
producer.
But don't worry. At least I got a shirt on. That's what matters.
You know what? And because we are a family show, I am so happy you got a shirt
Right.
on. Phew. But
Ooh.
so I'm kind of excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Yeah, I think it's a cool moment. Definitely a cool moment.
I need you
It
to buy
is.
one for me.
I need to buy one for you. You
Yep,
know
yep.
what? I might just do that just because, I love to buy the terrible towel because
Same.
the concept behind it of going to charity and not going to any family member, and it's there for a great purpose. And do you guys
Right.
know what the purpose is?
It's blah, blah, blah. Isn't it kids with it's for kids. I know that.
It is for kids.
Is it kids with cancer? Possibly.
Kids with cancer? No, not really. You want to take a shot at it, producer?
I gave you 50% of it, hijacker. He
did.
just, okay. I thought he left.
You did.
Oh.
It's kids with something, dude. I gave you 50% of the answer, bro.
So it is actually children or individuals. I think it's grown into individuals over the course of time, but it did start out with children with basically intellectual or developmental disabilities.
That's great.
Okay.
Yes, it actually is great.
Well, it's 2025. We have to include individuals now.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But it has really, really changed the scope and the impact that it's done from a charitable standpoint. And let's face it, a towel doesn't cost that much. I
No.
think the most I've ever paid for a towel was like $15.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, so
Yeah, that's pretty much the going rate. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it is a.
I'd like to get a number on how many actual variations they have of the terrible towel because there's an astronomical amount of them.
Well,
I mean, you can see it when you go into the stadium. They got the terrible towel wall, and there's hundreds of them on there.
There absolutely is. There absolutely is. And you got to hand it to them for coming up with a different towel for every event, every holiday, every this, every that. And if you ain't got one, you need to go get one. So, Larry, hello, Larry, you get me a towel for the 50th anniversary, and I'll get you a hat. We'll see which one comes in the mail.
Give
first,
him the game.
Larry.
Give him a game used one, like the one you got on now.
The game used one. I might have
used.
you know that. Look, this has got hard sweat on it, baby. So,
yeah.
I'm ready to go. Ready to go. But anyway, so those are a couple of things just in Pittsburgh. But what we really want to talk to you guys about tonight is something that I don't think we've really talked to the fans about. I don't even think we've discussed it. I don't even think we've brought it up. I mean, I don't even think I've seen it on the news. Nobody seems to talk about a guy that we picked up by the name of Aaron Rodgers.
Who's that?
You know,
Don't know.
I thought he was the place kicker. Isn't he coming in to go ahead and battle with Kuntz? Oh no, Kuntz is the long.
That's a long snapper.
Yeah,
he's a long snapper. Oh, that's right. No. He's coming in to compete with what was his name?
Skylar Thompson.
Cameron. That's it. Cameron
Johnson.
Cameron Johnston. Yeah, he's the guy going up against him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could be. They're both coming off leg injuries.
They are both coming off of leg injuries. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But no, on a serious side, not to drag this in, but FTA had a little bit of epiphany here. FTA's
Kool-Aid.
I'm not saying I'm drinking Kool-Aid yet. I'm not saying, but I have kind of gone on my own ayahuasca, journey, to seek the truth, to seek the inner sanctity, to see if it really is in my soul for him to be my number one quarterback. And you guys might be surprised on what I've come up with, but I want you to know that I really had to dig deep here, guys. So I did watch the Netflix Enigma thing. and that was pretty interesting. And I was pretty in tune to the Jets last year as far as the what do you call that? Hard knocks.
Oh
Hard
yeah,
knocks. There you
Rodgers.
go. So I kind of got to watch him there a little bit this year. And then, of course, listening to all of the media go after him, and he's too old, he's too washed up, he's a prima donna, he's this, he's only thinks of himself, he's selfish. I mean, the media tore this guy apart this offseason. I mean, would you guys agree or disagree?
Yeah, the media was pretty harsh on him. That New York media, they can be harsh, and they were just calling him out left, right, and center.
All right. So, producer, what was some of the things that you remember during this off season that he was called or implied or labeled? Anything that comes to your mind? One of the things.
Well, they called him out because of his his involvement in the game calling and preparation for the game because he was having full control when he probably shouldn't. He was calling the shots at the line, making audibles when he probably shouldn't be, and they were calling him out, because he wasn't really, putting his players in success, but he was just doing whatever the hell he wanted.
So,
That could be an execution thing, though.
Yeah, execution.
okay. All right. Freight train, same question to you. What is one of the things that came out that you came out in this?
I mean,
whole
the biggest thing was, a prima donna and already a bad teammate, which you can't call somebody a bad teammate when they aren't on a team. But, I think he took a lot of heat for how long it took him to commit to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And nobody really, we're all in this kind of limbo of, well, why did it have to take that long? And then we find out he gets married. We don't even know who he got married to, because I'm guessing he's trying to keep her out of the limelight, blah, 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 blah. But nobody put in the perspective of he actually had a hard decision to make. He's 40 years old. This is now his third team in 4 years, coming off an Achilles injury, 3 years ago that wiped out that whole season. So technically, you could say 3 teams in 3 seasons because that one season got basically washed away. Okay. Not the same Aaron Rodgers that we remember that won 4 MVP awards in Green Bay. Okay, from what we saw in New York. So there's a lot of question marks. And in today's day and age, if you have question marks, it just fuels the fire of people beating you down, and focusing on negatives.
That's all part of being part of the public eye, right? That's where we as fans, as news media, has all focused our attention on, right? We've seen that in the presidential races. I'm not going to get political, but we see that in the presidential races, right? We have become a society that looks not for the positive, but for the negativity in our news media for whatever reason.
The thing I want to know is how many times did you guys put on, ESPN or Fox Sports or whatever sports news outlet you watch? How many times did we see them say Aaron Rodgers is done and explain it with football film versus how many times did they say he was done because that's their perspective on everything outside of football has been happening? Because I seen more of the stuff happening outside of football in the non-committal part than actually studying the film on this guy and coming at it like they're supposed to in a football way. This guy gets paid to play football. Explain to it in football terms why this guy is done.
Now, you bring up a good point there, all right? Because now that he's signed, they're starting to show film of how good he could still be, right?
Well, yeah, they
Would
got
you
to
say that?
twist it. They're trying to
We
squeeze the lemon of Aaron Rodgers.
gotta get a little bit
Squeeze
more.
the lemon. Get every drop.
Gotta get a little bit more juice. Now that we've listened to both of you guys, I want to kind of paint this picture a little bit, and I know it's with a little bit of broad brush. But as I'm, on my little ayahuasca journey, on Aaron Rodgers, and make no mistake, you all have heard me on here, not necessarily 100% on board with this whole thing. And I've also come out and said too, time and time again, I think Aaron Rodgers is overrated. four-time MVP, only one Super Bowl, 20 years in the NFL, but yet this guy is considered in the top five. But yet you can't even give one mention to Ben Roethlisberger, who has how many Super Bowl guys?
2.
Two.
Okay, he's been to three, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Aaron's only been to one. All right. Now we could sit
He's
here and
100%.
right. We could sit here and we can argue about how Ben got there, but where I'm going with this is during all that time frame, you want to know the two people who were never unwavered, which was Art Rooney and Mike Tomlin. They pretty much stayed true to their entire game plan for Aaron Rodgers from start to finish. Never seen him sweat, never seen him waver. And now what are we finding out? That Mike and and Aaron have been on their own journey together. And Art's been in there somewhere too. And the whole Steeler family that where Aaron even almost now feels like there's Yinzer in him because he's been surrounded by people who have been from the Pittsburgh area his entire career. Have you guys
Mhm.
seen or heard that?
Yeah, I saw Rodgers. He's bleeding black and gold now.
Uh,
All right.
Yeah.
And look, I see you up there, Frank, trying. You're like, So on Enigma, which I'm sure you didn't want to watch because I damn sure didn't want to watch. I was like, oh, this is going to be horrible. But
I didn't
sat
watch it.
down for the 3 series, and I went ahead and I watched it. And, he was surrounded by Mike McCarthy, Yinzer, Tom Clemens, Yinzer. I'm trying to think of the other person, Yinzers. Now, with all of that, he he has been tied to this organization in one way or the other, and it's not just for beating us in the Super Bowl either. All right, he's been tied some way somehow, especially in his mind, because everything is spiritual, it's soulful, it's what does the world have meaning. Now, here's the other thing that most people don't know: he's a fucking perfectionist.
oh, 100%.
He is his worst critic. He is the most hardest person on himself. There's not a thing that the media can say or do to him that he has not already said or done to himself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
No,
And
no, he is. He's a
right,
competitor. He's one of the ultimate competitors.
absolutely, absolutely. And let's face it, we've seen it before with competitors. We've had enough of them on our sidelines. Get mad at a play, come in and dump the Gatorade tub, right? Throw
Yeah.
helmets across the field or the bench. Hell, we watched AB take his damn jersey off. We'd never seen a football player in
Actually, I think
history.
both those instances were AB moments that you had said previous to that.
They were AB moments. But we've also seen Heinz Ward get upset. We've seen Ben get upset. Remember when everybody used to see Tom Brady get upset? What a pussy he is. That guy,
Mhm.
he's not a good quarterback. But in reality, we all know that he was a decent quarterback.
He
But
was all right.
we
He was
we
okay.
we fed into that negativity, right? Because he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't our guy per se, but the
Mm-hmm.
competitiveness was still there. And
Mm-hmm.
and Larry, just so you know, no, we can't hear you. No, we can't see you. I don't know if you're outside my door, and if I'm Goldilocks, I'll let down my hair. But no, brother, I can't see you, man. I can't see you. Now, back to Aaron Rodgers. All right. Now, with that being said, besides him being a competitor, and a coach and wanting things done right. And and it wasn't his early years with Mike McCarthy that they had an offense along with Clemens that they grew together. And then it kind of got a little bit stale. They needed that fresh blood. It didn't happen there. But then somewhere in that later career in Green Bay, even when they took and they got Love, Jordan Love, what was the one thing that Aaron did with Jordan Love that we wished our quarterback would have done, even maybe a little bit with Mason Rudolph?
Tutelage.
Yeah. Yep, he taught him
Tutelage.
the ropes.
Showed him the
Mhm.
ropes.
Yep.
Tutelage. Now, why did he do that? Because when he came into the league, he was getting ready to supplant another guy, another Packer favorite, Super Bowl legend, Hall of Famer, Brett Favre. And remember what Brett Favre came out and said? I'm not here to wipe his ass and teach him what to do. If he wants to see what he can do, he can watch me perform all day long. Now,
Mhm.
it wasn't as harsh as that, and I don't need you trolls to go ahead and tell me exactly what he said. I'm trying to paint a picture here, okay?
Yeah.
So just stay with me for a minute. Now, and then even to the point where even today, Aaron and Brett, they have a little bit of a relationship. It's not a huge one, but they have one. You follow what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Because it wasn't necessarily as bad. And Aaron decided to take the high road. And what did he do? He went on to win the MVP that year that they drafted. Love. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
They lit a fire under him, and he responded in a good way. Won that MVP. I'm hoping he can do the same after the Jets kind of threw him to the curb.
Okay. So see, I'm glad you took a sip of the Kool-Aid for the first time, hijacker, because we got
Yeah.
more. There's still more.
Oh
Okay.
my Lord.
Oh
He,
yeah,
he's
no.
he's getting me to buy in. This seems like a sales pitch. I'll be bought in by the end of this.
You'll be bought in by the end of it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So now he's turned around, and during this whole time, right, he went completely dark, right? Because the one thing that I've also learned about Aaron Rodgers is because he has been in the limelight for his entire career for almost 20 plus years. He is done. He doesn't want to be in that limelight. He wants to lead a normal life, just like Larry, where Larry can come on, talk, ask for a hat, go to bed,
Ask if you
sweet
can hear him.
dreams, and we'll see you next week. He just wants a normal, average life. Nothing more, nothing less, right? Just an average life. How would you guys like it if every
But it's
time you
not.
met
He's not coming into that situation, TA. He's not coming into that situation. He's coming into an organization that is starved to win playoff games. Fans that are extremely frustrated with the front office and what's been happening and with the head coach. There's a lot of pressure here that nobody's really talking. There is an extreme amount of pressure here to perform, to get us to the playoffs, and to win and succeed in the playoffs.
and I think I have to disagree with you. The pressure, of course, is what the media has fed. The pressure is, of course, of what
I'm
we're seeing.
extremely frustrated that we haven't won in the playoffs. I don't know about you two guys.
But you want to know who else hasn't won the playoffs either? Aaron Rodgers. Do you realize that Aaron Rodgers, from the time he beat us in the Super Bowl, two franchise cornerstones of the NFL have not went on to have a successful record in the playoffs or Super Bowl since that Super Bowl over
They've had
15 years ago.
he's gotten out of the first round of the playoffs multiple times.
But he hasn't got to the bowl.
We
He
haven't got
hasn't.
out of the first round. We can't even take a sip of the milk at the bottom of the bowl.
We
You're
can't
right.
even get to the starting line.
We haven't got it, but he's also had the talent, won the MVP, and still didn't cross the finish line again. Right? All that falls on him. All that falls on him.
Yeah, he's the quarterback.
What I'm
100%.
think, what I'm saying is right now, I think we have a Zen moment, guys. There is a Zen moment happening that we're not aware of.
There's a ghost behind you.
There is a
Yeah.
ghost behind
There
the
is.
Aaron Rodgers ghost of Christmas future, which is where I'm
I'm
going to
listen.
next.
I hope you're right, but
You
I'm
don't even
looking
know what
at
I'm
it.
right about yet. I haven't even told you where I'm going with this yet.
Wow,
He's
this
telling
is
you Rodgers going his
that I
fifth
thought you were
MVP.
done there.
No, I'm
Keep
not
going.
done. I'm gonna keep going. Thank you. Now, since he's come aboard, all right, here's one thing, Freight Train, you and I think you can agree on right now. There was one quarterback in this draft that we both wanted. There was another quarterback before this draft that you wanted, Mr. Urs. But there's one quarterback that I stayed true to the whole time. And by the way, he is on this roster. Do you know his name?
Will Howard.
Will Howard. Since he has come aboard, right? He has soaked up every bit of his knowledge, every bit of his knowledge. And Rodgers has even publicly come out and stated that I sit right there. I'm going to give him everything I need to know for 20 years. Now, I want to go another direction. Steve Young and Rich Eisen just had an interview, and I thought that this was interesting. That he's like, with Aaron coming back, Aaron knows one thing. He says the same thing Tom Brady knew too. That in the era of football that they came up with, the offensive schemes were much more complex. Defenses were much more complex. You needed to know everybody's position and where they are. In today's age, they're not as complex. Now, you want to know what he said to me that I found more interesting because it's the same thing that we've been frustrated about is that the center of the field is wide open for pickings in today's NFL. Where have we not thrown to?
The middle of the field.
Haven't thrown in the middle field. Now I'm sitting here, I'm thinking of this. I'm listening to myself, Steve. And Steve turns around and he says, there's only one other quarterback who he would consider in that same Aaron Rodgers mode, and that is a guy from LA. Do you guys know who that is?
Stafford.
Yes,
Stafford. Those are the last two. Because now today's quarterback doesn't have to be as smart, doesn't have to be sophisticated. If the play breaks down, all he's got to do is what?
Swing it to the running back.
Or take off.
Scramble.
Scramble and run. You got it. That's how dumbed down the offense has got. And when I'm listening to these two talk, I'm thinking to myself, my God, he's absolutely right. If we can just protect Aaron and keep him upright, which we've got one of the youngest offensive lines in the NFL.
That's what scares me.
It could scare you. There's probably going to be a little
because Mr. Rodgers took 40 sacks last year. 40.
Oh, absolutely. But he still stood tall when he finished the season.
At,
he finished,
what was
he
their
finished
record?
the season
At 5-11. Yeah, at 5-11 they finished the season.
He still finished the season. Now, that was with the Jets. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers, our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers, that even last year we were able to at least keep two quarterbacks upright for the majority of the time. Right?
Well, it was getting sloppy out there at the end of the year.
It was getting sloppy, but we were still able to keep them up. All right. So now where I want to put the final wrap on this. Everything the media has been feeding us, I think at the end of the day, we need to throw that out. Aaron just came out on the Pat McAfee show and said, this is it. The Steelers know this is it. I know this is it. And when I'm done and I walk off the field, you're not going to see me again. I'm not going to come hound for any kind of publicity. I am walking away. You might see me on alumni night, but that is it. He is done, finished. Now, he told the Steelers he did not need to worry about adding on extra years. And we said this a few weeks ago. The Steelers are all in. You look at everything they did this offseason is for this point right here in time to create probably the best 90-man roster we've ever seen with competition at every position, including bringing in
the best 90-man roster this year.
The best 90-man roster.
Best 90-man.
Best 90-man.
And what time frame?
What's that?
You said ever?
From when we started 90 Men, way back when.
I don't know about that.
This is the best 90-man roster, hands
Best
down.
90, I think the best 90-man roster was when we had the Killer Bees.
When we had, no, there wasn't enough. We already knew there was nobody going to compete for the Killer Bees. Nobody. The Killer Bees were there. I'm talking 90-man roster.
You mean depth-wise? Okay, depth-wise.
Yeah, depth-wise, the whole thing. Saying there is a strong competition at every position.
On paper, it looks pretty good.
On paper, absolutely. On paper. So
that only means that's only good in horseshoes and hand grenades.
It could be, but they put all this together on one ride and one ride only. And this is it. And
if this was it, though, T, if this was it, then I would have liked to maybe get in a better wide receiver, too. If this is it.
Yeah. I think they would have loved to, but I think they were hoping it was going to be George. But I think George's immaturity, they had to pivot from it. They had to pivot. And you know what? Freight train. Training camp's not even here yet. There's still a few people out there. I wouldn't mind having Amari come on the team.
I
I
would
think
like
he
to.
would
Yeah,
be.
we need somebody that's a veteran presence that can actually make plays.
Yeah, I think
I'm
he
not
would be a
convinced
better.
Robert Woods can make plays anymore.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I think Amari would be much better than Robert. And if we had
Mhm.
Amari, then I think everybody would sleep better at
Yeah.
night. But
Mhm.
Now,
my
back to
point
your. Go
is
ahead.
there's still that opportunity for the wide receiver two to come in. And you want to know who else I think is going to very much benefit in this is Mr. Hayward himself,
Ooh.
Connor.
Uh,
He has made mention of Connor in almost every interview he's had so far to the public that he really likes Connor.
yeah, we said that
And
last week. Remember, because we said he could be the next John Kuhn.
absolutely he could. So we are all in, ride or die, Super Bowl or bust, baby. I think that the stars in the Zen just might align for us, man. I think they just might align for us. I really, truly do.
I
I
mean,
think the
I
football
like
gods
your
are in action.
enthusiasm. I can't knock your enthusiasm. It's one of your best traits. But when you look at a football standpoint, that 40 sacks really sticks out to me because we don't know what we're going to get with this young offensive line. We had good flashes last year, but Troy Fontenot was out the whole year. You have Broderick Jones going back to left tackle that he hasn't played in 2 years. Okay. Zach Frazier seems to be okay. Okay. Isaac Siamalu is an aging veteran at guard. And Aaron Rodgers has
You
no
got Montgomery.
mobility anymore. His no mobility. They're going to have
You
to tailor
forgot
this
McCormick.
game plan. They're going to have to tailor this game plan of getting the ball out quickly. And we've seen how that has transpired with other quarterbacks in the past with getting the ball out quickly. They tried that with Roethlisberger for his final 2 to 3 years, and it was trash. Okay. Another big point that I want to point out is last year, Aaron Rodgers went 2-4 in his own division. One of the worst divisions in football last year went 2-4. It is important in the AFC North to win divisional games. That is what wins you the division, is winning these divisional games. And I'm not convinced that Aaron Rodgers is built for the AFC North football because it is extremely physical. You have to be able to take hits. You have to be able to stay in there. And if that's the case, at 40 some years old, how many hits is left in that body? Because he's
Yeah,
going
I
to
mean,
take
he's
hits.
gotten bruised over the last 2 years.
Because he does not have the ability to extend the plays or to sneak out and run anymore. That's just not his game anymore. So those are some extreme red flags that I have.
Anything else?
I mean, that pretty much sums it up. And I mean, this I'm not convinced that this Steelers offense, the personnel that it has, is much better than the personnel he had in New York. Garrett Wilson is a great number one receiver. Devontae Adams, still a very good wide receiver. Bryce Hall, one of the better running backs last year in the National Football League, could do it all. And they still struggled to put up points. So what's different from Aaron Rodgers with that offense? That's going to be different with this offense because I'm not even convinced Arthur Smith knows how to run an efficient offense.
Well, since you brought up Arthur Smith, I'd be remiss if I did not say uh, the Steelers realm family wants to send his condolences out to Mr. Smith in the passing of his father. We wish you and
Mm.
yours very, very well. And know that this was some hard times, but we are here for you. Now, going back to Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith, by many, is considered to be an offensive genius. Some can argue that we haven't seen it yet.
Last year
But
it was
then
genius spelled with a J.
the joke?
Yes.
Yes. Well, here's the thing, though. Has he ever had a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers to pull this off at? Even at a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, it's really easy to say it's much better than Matty Ice. Definitely better than Ryan Tannehill. Um,
Better than
Riddick.
Ritter.
Yeah, better than Riddick. I mean,
Russell
let's
Wilson?
go Wilson, Justin Fields. I mean, when you look at all this, Arthur has done pretty good with some shitty fucking quarterbacks.
Well, you're hoping Rodgers can still be what he is, but at this age, who knows?
Look, I'm not asking him to be anything more than just a player, and I think that that's where he's at in his career. He just wants to come out and play the game one more time for fun. That's it. That's why I said I don't think there's any
Well,
pressure.
I don't find a 5-11 season fun. That's
I don't think
miserable.
he does either, which is why he's back. I think he knows he has more in him than that.
But what if this goes south? Is he okay with not playing?
Oh, I think so. I think if something goes wrong, and if they needs to pull, I think it'll be fine. In all reality, I really do, because of his relationship that he has with Tomlin and the respect that he has for Tomlin as well. And look, the guy already knows this is it. This is his last year. And let's be honest.
But
You
I
mentioned all
don't want
those
to be
guys.
some freaking retirement home for quarterbacks either. This is getting ridiculous.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, after this, who else would you bring here besides Stafford?
Let's see. Where's Flacco? Let's bring in Flacco
Oh,
after next.
Flacco's got a pretty good gig already at.
I mean, is
already at
Andy
the
Dalton
Browns.
still out there?
He is, isn't he down there? in Houston
Let's
or
bring in the
something?
Red Rocket. Why not?
No,
This is getting-
no.
I'm just
But-
tired of. We're just getting by here. Is there's going to be some massive gain with this move? Because we're always stuck in that in between spot on the draft. We don't have the assets. We don't want to take the risk and trade up and take something. We're in a bad spot to get a top tier quarterback, so therefore we get one in the 6th round. You're not going to find the Brock Purdy's and the Tom Brady's every single year. Am I rooting for Will Howard? Absolutely. Do I think he has something in there that could be, starting quarterback qualities? Absolutely. But in today's NFL and the way they evaluate talent, there's some reason why Will Howard went in the 6th round and not in the middle round. There's something there. You can polish a turd, but at the end of the day, it's still a turd.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What is the NFL going to? If what Steve Young has to say, that the NFL offenses are not as complex as what they were 10, 15 years ago, then really all you need is a quarterback like Dak Preston. Can he throw the
Right.
ball? Yes. Does he need to be accurate as all hell? Not really. Can he scramble?
But
Absolutely.
we don't. I'm not convinced we have people besides DK Metcalf that can get open. We're just running things back. And by the way, I just want to clarify. I was not calling Will Howard a turd, by the way. Big Will Howard fan. Won my Buckeyes a national championship. Will Howard is not a turd. I was just saying that as an analogy, just to clear that all up, just in case this gets back to him.
Yeah, he's a diamond in the rough, is what you mean.
Yeah.
So look, we've got pretty good receiving coming with Kenneth Gainwell and even Jalen Warren, right? Out of the backfield. We could say that, right? We don't know what Caleb Johnson has yet because we haven't seen it.
It's
So
all pure speculation.
It is speculation, but at least the first two have at least experience in the NFL catching it out of the backfield. We talked about Connor, and we've seen it with Connor. We're just not getting him the ball. Now, let's throw in there. You have Pat Fryermuth and Donnell Washington. Dude, there are two big weapons. And if throwing over the middle of the field is where we're going to go, let's make it happen. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is, does Aaron's arm have enough oomph in it to get it to a Calvin Austin running straight down the seam? Because we know the guy can catch.
Well,
And
that's how this is going to work, because when you look at Aaron Rodgers' best years in Green Bay, his best body of work, his best wide receiver for the longest time was Randall Cobb coming out of the slot. 100%. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Even Jordy Nelson came out of the slot a lot. That's how they made a living.
And what did they have? They had hands, right? They had to catch.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of that guy, you want to know who I think of? Who's on our team right now?
Roman, right?
Skoronik.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
I can see that.
And we really don't. And look, Scotty Miller, I mean, he was an integral part of who's run to their last Super Bowl. Oh, that's
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
And look, we didn't even talk about DK. My point is I don't think that when you look at this wide receiver core, it's as bad as what everybody is making it. We have some
everybody has to
have
be.
A chance.
They all have to have a role to play and stick to that role. None of this. Let's try them out here. Let's try to reinvent the wheel with what we've had for years. No,
we all have
stick
a role
to everybody's top skill, what they're good at. Just keep them where they're good at.
We all have a role to play today. And if you look at this team, this is role players up and down that have a chance to make that 43-man roster.
I hate the Patriots.
Or 53.
But Bill Belichick is one of the best head coaches of all times because he got guys to buy in to just do your job.
Right.
Do what I need you to do in this specific role. Nothing more, nothing less. I need you to do this.
And here's one other thing on this roster that I really like. And we talked about this last week too, Hijacker. This team is made up of champions.
Yep.
It's made up
Champion
of
culture.
Champion culture.
Yep.
And
Rodgers is bringing that to us.
Whether it be in the college ranks or whether it be in the NFL, this is championship caliber mentality. This is not a bunch of me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna end the show on the me.
On the me.
Did you guys see what our friend George Pickett did this week to a football youth camp?
Oh, yeah, he bailed on him.
Stuck it to him.
Mm-hmm. And you wonder why he's not on the team.
The company had to come out and apologize. They didn't even know about it.
No, because the company, the minute that they heard he got traded, what did they do? They called him, called his people. Are you still going to do this? Please let us know now. Nope, George is committed. He wants to help out the community. He wants to help out the kids. He's going to be there. Oh, the week of it happening? I'm sorry. George is not going to be able to make it. That's what this team doesn't have anymore. This is a team of role players with one mission. And we had that same mission when there was a guy by the name of Jerome Bettis. We had one mission, Detroit or bust. We have one mission this year. And with that, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. And I'm excited to finally be on this mission. Because I'm ready for the mission. We have that opportunity.
Yeah. We're only, 70 days from opening kickoff?
Yeah, 2 months, just over 2 months.
Yeah. God, that feels like an eternity.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
It feels like an eternity.
I'm already wore out by the whole situation.
And you want to know what's even more funny about this year's Super Bowl? Just another little tidbit I just want to throw in there for food for thought.
Is that MetLife?
It is at Levi Stadium in California.
Oh, where he's from?
Let's send Aaron home. We gave the bus a ride.
See, now the seat hijacker. Now he finally put it all together, and now the school is complete. All right, it took home. 50 minutes for it to come out, but now the story has completely come to an end. He went Paul.
I think he needs a drug test to make sure he's not on psychedelics.
He went Paul Harvey. We now know the rest of the story.
Yeah. Yep. And
we all know what's going to happen. Rodgers is going to ride out on the sunset.
All right. How about we just win week 1? How about that?
Hey, I'm all for it against the Jets. And
he's going to stick with the Jets, and then the rest of the season doesn't matter.
Nope.
I've heard this story before, not too long ago.
Santa Clara or bust, baby. Steelers realm, we're out of here.
Peace.
Yep. Good night.
And you hit the button.
Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast.
Gee.
Check back next week into the Steelers Realm.